Good evening, Tottenham fans. There is absolutely zero planning from this club. They're looking for opportunities, they're looking for the cheaper options, and they're panic buying half the time. What do Langer do, and what does Paratici do in the months leading up to a transfer window? It doesn't even look like there's any targets that we were looking at. There's no rumours of long-term targets other than Conor Gallagher, who we've been trying to get for 2 or 3 years, which I deem as a club signing because we've been trying to get him for every single manager we've had. So that's nothing to do with Langer and nothing to do with Paratici. So what do they do? Now, a really strange situation has occurred today. It might have changed by the time this video comes out, but as I'm speaking now at 20 past 1 in the afternoon, in UK time, Robertson has been linked to join Tottenham Hotspur, and a deal has already been agreed between the club and player. And it just makes complete no sense. I think it's completely strange. I think it's a reactionary to a Ben Davies injury. But my question here is, why did we sign Sousa? Sousa has an outside chance of making it to the World Cup with Brazil to get in their squad. Their manager even said so. And now, what would he must be thinking now that Robertson's coming in as well? So if your doggy gets injured again, Robertson's his replacement. And Tottenham are saying this is a short-term replacement as well. How many short-term replacements are we going to get in this squad? So we've got Robertson will be a short-term for Ben Davies. Then you've got Paulinho's on loan. You've got Mawani's on loan. We're getting short-term fixes, but actually not long-term fixes. And we were told that we were going to build and concentrate on sport and success. But why are we not building a squad then? Why are we just having temporary fixes and just plugging gaps with temporary solutions? It doesn't make sense. Now, also, we were told that we were going to sign players that would move the needle, that would improve our first 11. In my opinion, Robertson is one of the best left backs in the Premier League in his prime. But now, your doggy and Spence are both better than him. So you were not improving our first 11. We're just putting in squad players again. Temporary fixes, but squad players. I thought we were signing players to improve our first 11. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I have nothing against Robertson, nothing at all against him. In fact, he'll bring a lot of experience. He'll bring some know-how to that left-back role. He's got a hell of a cross on him, which would be perfect for the Thomas Frank system. But unless Thomas Frank leaves, then it was absolute pointless decision to sign him. Great from set pieces, great with free kicks. So there is positives to having him. But he doesn't move the needle. He doesn't get in the first 11. He's a good squad player. But then it just doesn't make sense to sign Sousa. What I would have done, instead of signing Sousa and signing Robertson, the best thing you could have just done was sign one quality left back that could also play left centre back to cover your doggy and Van de Ven. But no, because there's zero planning in this Tottenham board. ENIC, the scout team, Langer, Paratici, I don't understand what they do. I really don't. I don't know what they've planned for. They've not come out and spoken about their plan. I know Langer likes to keep quiet, but this again just reeks of an opportunity. It reeks of a cheaper option. It reeks of not sure what to do now that Ben Davies is injured. So we'll just get the next player that's available and bring him in without really planning it. Just opportunity again from Spurs. You know, we need a left winger. We need a right winger. We probably need a striker. We probably need another midfielder that can play the ball. But no, they're concentrating on a position that we've already signed through Sousa and signing another one. It all reeks of just not knowing what you're doing. I just don't think, other than Paratici, we've got any football knowledge in this board, in Spurs completely. ENIC have not got a clue of how to run a football team. They know how to run a business. They know how to get money in. They know how to get profits. They know how to gaslight. They know how to lie. They know how to get people on side. But they know nothing about football, really. You can see it a mile off. You know, and I'm not claiming to be the know-all about everything. I'm not trying to say that. But you hand any fan the the keys to do transfers for Spurs, and they would be doing nothing like what ENIC are doing. Nothing like it. We'll be filling gaps where, with quality players to improve your first 11 like they told us they were going to do. So again, more lies, more gaslighting, and more frustration for the Spurs fans. Like I said, he'll be okay. He'll do all right. He'll come in and he'll show some leadership. And what we had from Ben Davies basically doesn't move the needle for me. It's just a very strange decision to try and sign Robertson. Now, it wouldn't be as bad if we didn't sign the Salzer. If we didn't sign him, I'll be like, yeah, that's all right. A temporary fix for your doggy. Still not all right, to be honest. No, right? It's not all right, because we're supposed to be using every single transfer window to try and catch up with the massive gap between us and the top 6 sides now. There's a massive gaping hole, and we're not closing that gap by signing players like Robertson, who, by the way, can't get in the Liverpool side ahead of Kirkes because his legs are gone, apparently. And I haven't seen a lot of Robertson this season, but a lot of Liverpool fans say that Robertson is not the old player that he was. He hasn't got the pace anymore, and that was one of his key attributes, was his pace, run up and down the flanks. He doesn't do that as much anymore. Unless Thomas Frank is looking to bring him in the back three, that might make more sense, maybe. But and it might be all right if we sign more players. If we signed a right winger and a left winger and another midfielder on top of this, then that's all right. I don't care. But we don't know what we're doing with Paulinho yet. We don't know what we're doing with Mawani. Robertson probably not staying for long, which means that's 3 more gaps in the squad that Spurs will not fill in the summer because they don't like spending big. So all it is temporary fixes, nothing to do with actually trying to build a squad. Spurs are not building a squad this way. All they're doing is slowly going backwards, in my opinion. It's very difficult to understand what the plan was in the first place. Can you guys help me in the comments? Like, tell me what you think the plan is with Robertson. Like I said, I think he's a half-decent player. I don't think he's crap. But I don't think he moves the needle either, like we were promised. There's plenty of left-backs. It's Luke Haber. Why didn't you go all out for Luke Haber? Absolute exceptional left-back. And he can play left centre-back as well. Great ball player. Very strong. Levels above Robertson. But you didn't. You went for a cheaper option and opportunity. And that's what Spurs do. And that's what Spurs will continue to do. I think us as Spurs fans should really, really wake up. Because if we ended the transfer window with a Conor Gallagher, which I thought was a good signing, so I'm not going to say it's all negative. I think Conor Gallagher was a very, very good signing. I think he does improve our first 11. But then you've got to think Salzer, just a 19-year-old that no one's ever heard of, and Robertson in exactly the same position as Salzer, who doesn't get in our first 11 if a first team was picked for a final. He wouldn't be in that first team. So again, if the transfer window closes today and we signed Robertson on the last day, that's a really crap transfer window. It's really poor. Spurs need to do a lot more. We're running out of time. I think it's the 23rd or 24th today. There's not much time left, and Spurs are still looking for opportunities rather than doing what they said they planned. I don't think they've planned anything. I don't think there's anything coming through. I think they've massively panicked now because of a huge injury crisis that we have. But the injury crisis we've got is a lot to do with forward areas, and we're not signing any forward players. Now, we got told we might be going in for Somerville. I really hope that's not true. I hope that's a smokescreen for someone else, because Somerville, again, doesn't move the needle, doesn't improve our first team, doesn't get into our first team. He's going to be another squad player and another player that in 1 or 2 years' time we'll be saying we need to sell. It's a shambles at the moment. I don't know how ENIC are going to save this window unless they sign 2 top players. It doesn't look like we're going to, and it doesn't look like a top player is going to want to come to us at the last minute either. It needs to have been planned a lot better. And as usual, Spurs do not plan it better. It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating when you've got, it's not like we haven't got the money. We're the 9th richest club in the world. We spend the least amount on wages to profit ratio. You know, we're PSR, we're way ahead of anybody else. We're like $1 billion ahead of Chelsea when it comes to PSR, by the way. It's a lot of money. We could spend 400-500 million and still be okay, and still won't be getting in trouble for it. It's so bad that this club does not want to stick to its promise of supporting the sporting success of this club. Like, it's laughable when you actually look at what they're actually doing. It is laughable. We're actually just buying temporary fixes and not even building the squad. It's absolutely crazy. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm being a little bit over the top. Like I said, Robertson is a good player, but he's not better than Spence and not better than Udogie. And I don't even know how good Salza is. What if Salza ends up being better than Robertson? This will make this even more relevant. Let me know in the comments what you think of today's video, and come on, you Spurs.